Thank you, Mr. Bulstrode. If you just let me have the form. Thank you. Good morning. Can I help you, sir?
I'm the secretary of the National Sporting Club.
National Sporting Club, yes.
I think there might be some mail for me.
I'll just take a look, sir. If you just complete the form, sir, sign it on the bottom. Just sign here, sir.
Showed in the eyes, you know. That's bad. Very bad. That's where it always shows. In the eyes.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow, sir.
The name's Todd. I'm not the secretary of anything. Todd. That's who I am.
You're from the,
Yes, I'm from the, yeah, we'll leave it at that, shall we? Yes. Gave yourself away and no mistake. Now, if I'd been the man you thought I was, I'd have spotted right away that you recognise me. Showed in the eyes. Always does. Take the word of a professional.
I've been a professional for some time, sir. A professional policeman.
Police? It's a little different from police work. Oh, I dare say you could teach me a thing or two about catching pickpockets. I see it's arrived.
Yes, it came in the last collection about an hour ago. What does it contain?
Didn't Major Sprott tell you?
His instructions were to note the person who collected it and then follow them. That's all the Major Sprott said.
Perhaps he didn't want you to know. In our profession, we don't even trust police.
Right, it's a pity you have to seek their assistance.
My very words to the Major. Still, strictly between ourselves, there's £1,000 in there. Oh, treason's a very expensive commodity. Now, don't ask any questions. Put the envelope back where it was and wait. Oh, and you won't forget.
Forget what, sir?
The eyes.
I don't give you as the Commander-in-Chief. Give me another 3 minutes and we're off.
Now, Corky, the Field Marshal's a busy man. You've got to have some respect for authority. I mean, he's in the same position as...
The Superintendent of Scotland Yard. He made the appointment for 12:30. It's now after 1 o'clock. The Field Marshal?
Is still engaged.
When will he be disengaged?
I'll let you know, Sergeant. I've already informed him that you're here.
That's very civil of you.
Why don't you just sit down and rest your feet while you got the chance? You're always complaining. You never get the opportunity.
About this military mentality. It's not surprising to get into so many fights.
Good afternoon, Colonel Farnham. The Field Marshal is expecting you, if you'll just go straight in. Thank you, Captain.
Suppose he's come to help with the crisis. Perhaps the French have invaded the Isle of Wight.
Whatever it is, I'm sure it's important. He wouldn't keep us here cooling our heels if it wasn't.
There should be at least one member of the detective department to attend to its proper duties.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
And my apologies. I was unavoidably detained.
You're very fortunate. You'll have half an hour less to wait than we had.
May I introduce Sergeant Cork? This is Major Sprott, Chief of Military Intelligence.
Delighted to make your acquaintance, Sergeant. Who is with the Field Marshal?
Colonel Farnham, sir.
In that case, I think we might join them.
Yes, sir.
Sprott, come in, come in.
Thank you, sir. Might I introduce Superintendent Rodway and Sergeant Cork of the Police Detective Department?
How do you do? My ADC told me you'd arrived. Yes, some time ago, I believe, sir.
No doubt you had some pressing business to attend to, sir.
I had indeed. I was having a shave. I'm taking the salute with Her Majesty at Windsor this afternoon, so the sooner we conclude this business, the better. And this, by the way, is Colonel Farnham of Ordnance and Supply.
Gentlemen.
Be seated. Well, Major, this meeting was your idea. Say what you have to say.
Certainly, sir. As you know, sir, my department was obliged to call in the assistance of Scotland Yard on a matter affecting the security of this nation. Since that assistance may be more protracted than I first anticipated, I feel we would be justified in taking them into our confidence.
Involve the civil police even further, since most of the detective department appear to be involved, the total exclusion of their normal duties, the point would appear to be academic, sir. Carry on, Sprott.
The circumstances, gentlemen, are these. The English armaments firm of Tremont Byington have recently manufactured a high-velocity field gun which represents a considerable advance in firepower. Perhaps Colonel Farnham, since this is more in your province.
Well, in non-technical terms, it has a higher muzzle velocity, a flatter trajectory, and a greater rate of firepower than our current 9-pounder.
Yes, quite.
Contracts have already been placed for this weapon, but now we have learnt that the German arms firm of Klebers in Essen have produced a similar weapon which combines all the same characteristics with a larger caliber shell.
How did this come to light?
We have our own sources in Germany. The point is that this is not the first time something of the sort has happened. Klebers are already testing their weapon. We are naturally suspicious.
With German ambitions in West Africa, we've got to be suspicious. It's perfectly obvious there's a damn traitor in the camp. A traitor. We can't afford to be complacent.
I agree, sir. I already have several men investigating, among them Todd.
Todd? Who the devil's Todd?
A very reliable agent, sir. You may recall his part in that business in Zagreb.
I recall nothing. Well, carry on. I want to know why the civil police have been involved in a military matter.
We received information that the spy, whoever he may be, would receive a payment of a large sum of money within the next few days. The method of collection was from a poste restante. Fictitious name, of course. Hansi... I beg your pardon, Colonel. Did you say something?
A slight twinge, that's all. Indigestion, most likely. I'm sorry. Please continue.
Since there are several post offices to be covered, I asked the assistance of Scotland Yard. They've been instructed not to identify themselves nor to make an arrest, merely to follow their man and report back to my department.
I see. Well, I don't see that much harm can result, provided they confine themselves to acting as, errand boys.
I seem to have contributed as much as I can to this discussion, sir. I wonder if I might be excused.
Excused? Certainly, Colonel Farnham. You look a bit under the weather.
I did have rather a late evening, sir, or perhaps an early morning would be a more apt description.
Not so young as you were, eh? Well, you'll have to watch it. The gaming tables have ruined as many constitutions as they have pockets. Very well, Colonel, I don't think we need to detain you.
Thank you, sir. Gentlemen.
Let that be a lesson to you, Major. You can't carry the habits of a young subaltern in the middle age. Still, it shows spirit. He's a fine fellow, Farnham. Comes of good stock.
About our detectives, sir.
Yes. Well, it seems as though we can't let you have them back just yet. Not until we've found our man.
Thank you. Can I help you, miss?
Yes, I believe there might be a letter for me. Well, that is not for me exactly, but I'm afraid I've never used the post restaurant before.
Well, it's quite simple. To whom is the letter addressed?
To the Secretary of the National Sporting League.
I see. Just a moment. If you just complete the form, sign it on the bottom.
Thank you.
Could I have a little service here, please?
Sorry, sir, I didn't see you waiting there. Well, this is quite a surprise.
Nothing surprises me. I give her time to get well clear and then follow her.
You don't think that she's...
No, she hasn't got the look about her. You get to know the look. I'll report back to Major Sprott.
Well, at least we'll know her name from the form.
She doesn't have to sign her real name. All right, get back to her.
I'm sorry, sir, it doesn't appear to be here. Perhaps if you call back this afternoon.
Thanks.
Have I filled it in correctly?
Yes, that appears to be in order. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Receipt form. I want to see what name she's on. I may know the handwriting.
Farnham. Sign it, Anne Farnham.
Ah.
Uh-huh.
I'm extremely sorry that Madam has been kept waiting for so long. I can only assure Madam that such dilatory service is most unusual in a Broadbent establishment. I shall speak personally to the assistant as soon as she returns.
Oh, please, that won't be necessary. It's such a long way to the ground floor, and she did have to take the dress in from the window.
Madam is too kind. A customer's wish is our command, one of Mr. Broadbent's little sayings. And now, if Madam would care to step this way. Oh, Pilly.
I am sorry to have kept you waiting, ma'am. I had to get help to bring the dummy in from the window because I didn't like undressing it in there.
That will do, Pelly. If Madam would care to step this way. Madam? Charming. Quite charming. If I may make so bold, I consider that Madam has shown the most exquisite taste in her selection. I fancy she may find it a little full in the, here and there.
Oh, I do hope not. I had intended to wear it this evening.
I'm sure we can accommodate, Madam. A Broadbent customer is a satisfied customer. Another of Mr. Broadbent's little maxims.
Ow. Oh, I'm sorry, miss. I couldn't get the hook in.
It's quite all right.
Allow me, Madam. That will do, Kelly.
Yes, Miss Belton. Can I help you, sir?
Yes, I'm after buttons. I'd like to buy some buttons.
Buttons?
Yes.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, that would be haberdashery on the next floor down. This is ladies, this is the wrong department, sir.
I see, yes. Thank you. My mistake.
Just downstairs and to the right, sir. Haberdashery.
Look, I wonder if you'd mind if I took a look round.
Here?
Yes.
Oh. Excuse me, sir.
A little tuck here and a little tuck there. Otherwise it fits perfectly and so right for Madam's colouring. Now, if Madam doesn't mind waiting, we have a seamstress on the premises.
How long would that take, do you think?
20 minutes at the most.
Miss Belton!
What is it now?
I'll have a word with you, Miss Belton.
And I with you. Mr. Broadbent is most anxious to secure the carriage tray, to which that lady obviously belongs.
Miss
Don't keep her waiting.
There's a gentleman
and
waiting.
You keep her A man? That's absurd. Can I assist you, sir?
No, thank you. Well, actually, I'm waiting for my wife.
Oh, your wife?
Yes, I think she's in there.
I see.
Care to try one?
I should think not.
Oh, it's the smell that puts you off. It always does. Most unpleasant.
If you're going to smoke that in here, would you mind opening one of the windows?
You'd better get used to it, my fine soldier friend, because it's nothing to the stink there's gonna be. And opening the windows won't get rid of it.
Fun. Fun. I don't believe it. I refuse to believe it.
I was reluctant to accept the possibility, sir.
Possibility. You're not suggesting there's any basis for this wild notion, are you?
I have to recognize the fact that Colonel Farnham was our military attaché in Berlin for some time.
A post which he filled admirably.
Quite so, sir. Also a post which enabled him to make certain liaisons.
Flimsy evidence for an unworthy suspicion. Not a position I would care to defend.
Nor I, sir. But the Colonel's gambling debts are reputedly heavy, and he does have a daughter named Anne. Todd is quite certain the signature on the post office form was Anne Farnham.
Well, I'd hesitate to take his word against that of an officer and a gentleman. What about this fellow Todd, anyway? I can't say that I care for him.
We have to recruit from unusual sources, sir. Todd is an expert at his job. He speaks half a dozen languages fluently and knows intimately every capital in Europe. I can vouch for his complete reliability, so long as we continue to pay him enough.
A mercenary, eh? Todd. An assumed name, of course. The fellow can't be English.
I'm afraid he is, sir. He recently executed a commission for us in the Balkans. I use the word executed in a particular sense.
Major, I am not concerned with the administrative details of your department. I require only that the gun carriage be highly polished and smoothly running. I leave the greasing of the axles to my subordinates.
Very wise, sir. And Colonel Farnham?
Yes. Well, the matter will have to be investigated, of course. Not that I accept that there's one word of truth in it. Nevertheless, if this were to leak out, it could cause grave loss of confidence in certain quarters. We have enemies, Major. There must be no scandal.
I think the matter can be handled discreetly. And the police, sir?
The police? Dismiss them.
Certainly, Mrs. Fordyce. I will send the assistant in to you immediately. Oh, Billy.
Miss Belton, he's still there.
But he's waiting for his wife.
Well, it can't be Mrs. Fordyce, because she's only just arrived. And it can't be the other lady, because she's not wearing a wedding ring.
But these are the only two. Pelly, that fellow's up to no good. Oh, out of the way, woman.
I'm just waiting for my wife.
I can assure you, sir, she is not here.
Really, I could have sworn
Well,
that...
perhaps she went out the back way.
There's another way out.
Yes, through the curtains and along the corridor.
Over! Come back, you can't go in there! Back up here! No! Don't you think... A man like you should be horsewhipped!
Well, if you stop hitting
that thing, I'd explain.
Shall I send for Mr. Broadbent, miss?
No! Send for a constable! No!
Borky?
Yeah?
What would you say if I told you Marriott's just been arrested?
What?
Arrested. After the suspect left the post office, our man followed her to a cab rank. In the Haymarket, she stopped to make one or two purchases on the way.
And he lost her at the cab rank.
No. She took a hansom to Broadbent's Emporium in Holborn, where she went into a department on the third floor. Then he lost track of her.
I see. I should have thought it would have been a relatively simple matter to wait for her to come out.
He was prevented from doing so by circumstances.
If our man had been allowed to identify himself to the staff as a policeman...
Oh, come, Sergeant. You must admit there's been a certain amount of negligence.
Negligence? The instructions from your office were quite plain. He followed them to the letter.
All right, Sergeant. I can only express my regret for this unfortunate lapse, and I assure you we shall redouble our efforts to assist your department.
Oh, I doubt if that'll be necessary.
Not necessary?
I think we can manage on our own now.
Major, I appreciate how you feel, but these mistakes do sometimes happen.
Quite. I don't think I need trouble you gentlemen further.
Take it that we no longer take orders from the War Officer?
Precisely. Good day, gentlemen.
Major, I was under the impression you'd call to tell me something.
Really? A mistaken impression, I assure you.
Then why are you here, sir?
Merely to find out what progress you've been making. And I did.
Well, we got Marriott to thank for that bit of humiliation. Bad enough losing a suspect, to get himself arrested into the bargain. It's a wonder he hadn't got himself booked for a comic policeman turn in Collins Music Hall.
Marriott was acting under orders from that tin soldier, under impossible circumstances which were not of his own making.
Ah!
Son?
You great stupid oaf, you.
Yes, I was listening at the door. Comic policeman, Collins
Look,
Music.
there's nothing very funny about that. Why didn't you tell the constable who you were? Show him your warrant
Well, I
card.
did when I got the chance, but half the staff insisted on coming down to the station to file charges. Should have heard some of the charges.
Yes, but it's out of our hands now. Major Sprott and his merry men can go looking for this Miss, Farnham. Farnham. Where have I heard that name before?
Is that you, ma'am?
Father, I didn't expect you back until this evening.
The conference finished sooner than I'd anticipated. The Field Marshal has an engagement at Windsor.
You feeling all right?
No, a trifle out of sorts. That's why I didn't go on to the club. I just finished cleaning it. And there are certain things on my mind. Things I would sooner die than... No, that's not so. I don't know how to begin. May God forgive me for involving you in this business.
Father, what's happened?
Did you go to the post office as I requested?
Yes. Here you are, but tell me what's troubling you.
Bear with me. I'm trying to explain, though you'll learn the truth soon enough. And you may have guessed that my financial affairs have been going rather badly of late.
You did hint at one or two unlucky investments.
Investments. The only investments I have ever made were on the baccarat cards, but you are correct in describing them as unlucky.
If we're short of money, I'm sure there are some small
That
economies...
point was reached and passed a long time ago. I got myself in the hands of moneylenders. Papers were signed. This house, all it contained, I was on the point of losing everything.
Father...
Gambling debts are debts of honor, Anne. To meet them, I had to borrow. To repay the loan, I had to risk a greater dishonor.
And you tried to keep all this from me. There's some jewelry I can sell. Mother's and a few pieces of my own. Father, why didn't you tell me?
I only tell you now in the hopes that you won't judge my actions too harshly. I wouldn't want you to hate me.
Hate you? You must think me a mercenary creature to put so high a value on money.
Money? We have money. Take it, Anne, and go. Change your name. Bury yourself somewhere until this whole business is over and forgotten.
I don't understand this money. Where did you get it?
No, it's too late to run. Too late for both of us. Too late for either of us.
But where did you get it, Father?
Let them in, Anne.
Good afternoon. Miss Farnham, I take it?
Yes. Haven't we met? You're the clerk at the Post Restaurant.
No, miss, I'm a police officer.
Maybe.
Come in, gentlemen. I've been expecting you.
The Field Marshal, where is he?
I'm afraid you just missed him, sir. He left half an hour ago.
Left for where, man?
Windsor. He's not expected to return until tomorrow afternoon.
I must see him immediately.
Well, really, sir, one hesitates to interrupt an engagement with Her Majesty.
I am giving you an order, Captain. Failure to comply with it will certainly cost you your commission.
Yes, sir, of course. What is the message, sir?
The Field Marshal must return at once on a matter of extreme urgency.
Is that all, sir?
That's quite enough, isn't it?
But...
Well, the Field Marshal doesn't have much to say for himself.
He's gone. I've left word to be sent. You're absolutely sure?
My own eyes are among the few things I can trust. I'd been watching Farnham's house about an hour and I saw them go in. Policemen. I recognized the younger one. Oh, the apple cart's upset all right. And the fruit's rolling all over the place.
Yes. And I don't relish the job of picking it up.
It seems rather strange, Miss Farnham, that your father asked you to pick up such a valuable package without informing you as to its contents. Had you ever done such a thing before?
No. This was the first occasion. He intended to collect it himself, but a message came this morning saying it was important conference on at the War Office.
Yeah, we know all about that. Why'd you try and shake off the policeman who was following you?
I didn't.
Oh, yes, you deliberately went to a place where he could not follow you.
I went in to buy a dress.
Lady of your position, daughter of a high-ranking officer, you do your shopping in some exclusive salon in Bond Street, not in Broadbent's Emporium.
If I could afford it, yes.
And can't you afford it, ma'am?
Your questions are becoming impertinent, Sergeant.
And remaining unanswered, I see.
If you must know, we have been rather short of money.
The National Sporting League, to whom the envelope was addressed. Your father is the secretary?
I suppose so. I don't know anything about it, but I always assumed that it had something to do with horses, hunting, something of that sort.
But you'd heard the name before.
Yes, I'd seen it several times on letters in my father's study.
I see. Well, I don't think we need detain you any further, Miss Holland.
I mean, I can go. My father...
Stays, I'm afraid, miss.
Well, may I see him?
Not for the moment. Get this young lady a cab, please.
Sergeant, there's been a terrible mistake. No matter what your reasons are for believing otherwise, I assure you that my father is incapable of committing a dishonorable act.
I hope you may be proved to be right, miss.
But she won't be, Corky. That one may be as pure as the driven snow, but the father, short of money, access to valuable secrets, motive and opportunity. What more do we need?
Evidence. Don't like to condemn a man before trial. I must admit I get a certain amount of satisfaction in presenting him to Major Sprott neatly tied up with pink string and sealing wax, though.
That should take the smug look off his face. Make him appreciate that we get results by our own methods.
Yes. Still quite a few more questions to be answered yet, though. Marriott, what is your opinion of a traitor?
A man who would betray his country would betray anything.
Think so? In his own flesh and blood? Very few men would lightly involve their own daughters in an act of treason.
My daughter has nothing to do with this.
So you've said, but I've just been questioning her for over an hour. I prefer to form my own opinions.
I've told you, Sergeant.
At least your daughter was more forthcoming, sir. You said nothing.
My daughter is in no way involved. I'm stating a fact.
So far, sir, you've stated very little.
If I have said nothing, it is because there is nothing to be said. I have for some time been supplying the German High Command with military information. In return, they have been supplying me with money.
You admit to treason, then?
If you care to call it that.
What other word is there?
It's a game, that's all. They gained nothing they did not already possess.
Don't even pretend that I follow that.
Sergeant, I was for some time military attaché in Berlin. At least that was my official title. In fact, I was acting on Major Sprott's behalf.
You were a spy?
A very respectable one. In the course of my duties, it was almost inevitable that I should meet von Limburg. Now, he is a traitor, Mr. Marriott, though I doubt if you would choose to call him one. In fact, he is what Major Sprott would refer to as our sources in Berlin. My opposite number. Oh, God help him if he finds himself in the same position as I am.
He approached you to spy for his government?
Eventually, yes, I refused. Indignantly, of course, but not until we'd compared notes. And as time went by and my debts increased, my refusals began to appear more and more unrealistic.
How so, sir?
This Predmont Byington gun, the one Cleavers have improved upon, how could it have become obsolete so soon?
Well, you sold them the details.
Oh, Cleavers were working on that gun long before I had the details. Who owns Cleavers? Who owns Predmont Byington? It would take an army of lawyers to find out precisely. But when their directors play host to one another at Baden-Baden or on a Highland grouse moor, what do they talk about?
Oh, it's absurd. I refuse to believe that.
Shall I tell you about an armor plating manufactured by one of the companies and an armor-piercing shell manufactured by the other? When two European giants play host to one another, who can afford to fall behind in the race and who can afford not to profit by it?
Are you seriously suggesting that these two companies are supplying each other with information?
Why not? They are owned by the same people.
And the government knows nothing at all about this traffic?
Of course they do. But governments are national. These interests are international. They have certain arrangements. When an obsolete weapon has to be replaced, both sides profit by the transaction.
Isn't that treason?
No, just good, sound business.
Well, if what you say is true, then the whole thing becomes a farce.
Yes, and how easily a farce becomes tragedy.
Interesting. Very interesting. Nothing to do with me, of course. I was just sent to pass on instructions.
I'm getting rather tired of that word, instructions.
You haven't charged Colonel Farnham yet?
No.
I don't see there's any problem.
I haven't charged him, and I'm not going to release him. This document amounts to a confession. It's absurd to even suggest we let him go.
There's no point in going to bed at all these days. Second time this week. Has something happened?
I'm sorry about the midnight summons, Sergeant. We've just received instructions from the War Office to release Colonel Farnham. Let him walk out. Let him go home.
Oh, but he signed a statement. He admits to selling information.
Don't tell me. I just obey orders like everybody else.
Well, I don't. I'm demanding an official explanation for this extraordinary business from the Commander-in-Chief himself. Wait here for me, Corky, will you?
Some people just don't appreciate the value of ignorance. You, Sergeant?
A characteristic I hold in very high esteem.
All right, then. Innocence, if that word sits better. The art of not tampering with things that are better left alone. Now, you look to me like a man who knows how many beans make 5.
Oh, such modest mathematics are within my grasp, and why the flattery?
Have you the authority to order Farnham's release?
I believe so. Why?
Don't ask. Just do it.
You really are a repulsive little man, aren't you?
It wouldn't be forgotten. A word or two in the right ear. Oh, the superintendent might be a bit annoyed, but a lot of other people would be grateful. Important people. Influential people.
Save your breath. No intention of releasing Colonel Farnham. In due course, he'll be charged and tried, and I hope the effect on your important people will be most salutary.
Well, I don't know about that, but it'll certainly be embarrassing. You think they want him released because he's one of them, don't you? You think they're trying to protect one of the club?
If that isn't the reason, why do you want him released?
Ah, well now. I don't know that I'd care to say. But believe me, I could make a damn good guess.
Thank you, Captain Peters.
I just don't understand it.
As an army man, I find your desire to understand orders irrelevant. Obedience is all that is called for. You will agree that your commissioner's instructions are quite explicit.
Quite. I am to release a self-confessed traitor.
We are no longer disposed to regard Colonel Farnham in that light. Our suspicions on further reflection would appear to have been premature.
Premature? He's put the whole thing in writing. He's implicated several commercial bodies in this country. Among them, Tremont Byington.
This confession, as you call it, smacks of hysteria, obviously the product of a disturbed mind. I propose to disregard it.
And Tremont Byington?
It is neither unethical nor unpatriotic for commercial undertakings to exchange technical information. However, we will retain this document for the moment.
I see. So there's nothing more to be said?
Nothing, except to thank you for your assistance. Good night, Superintendent.
Good night.
How very unfortunate. I'd never have dreamed he'd have left a signed confession. I wonder how many people know about this.
And how many more if he's brought to public trial?
Quite. Though I doubt, sir, if we can keep this matter secret indefinitely.
The matter rests with you, Major.
I see. And what are your orders, sir?
I don't think it would be proper for me to give orders. You may well think, however, that with the nation's security to consider, your department might arrive at certain decisions. But be quite certain that I am in no way involved. I stand too close to Her Majesty to risk the least breath of suspicion. I do feel, however, that I should give you a general basis on which to make your decisions, whatever they may be.
Please do, sir.
Well, consider what would happen if Farnham were to stand trial. It wouldn't be one officer on trial. It would be the whole army, his whole class, everything he stands for. It would be playing straight into the hands of the most radical elements. The whole issue would be prejudged, and it could easily cause a government crisis.
I doubt if it would extend that farther.
Oh, do you? Several members of the cabinet have interests in the companies which have been named. How soon before the agitators start calling them traitors? And there are other implications. Her Majesty is most anxious that we should preserve good relations with Germany. A trial of this nature would hardly improve them. So you see, Major, the situation is very serious indeed.
I've never doubted it, sir. Only I'm not quite clear about what I'm expected to do.
Think. Put yourself in Colonel Farnham's position. With so much at stake, there can be only one honorable solution.
And if he rejects it?
Perhaps by that time, your department will have reached its decision.
You would have to make that an order, sir.
I would question the value of any officer who would hesitate to sacrifice a company to save a battalion without being ordered. Good night.
Well, argue with that, Corky. I'm not going to. If the commissioner cracks the whip, we jump. And that's all there is to it.
Well, Sam, I think we're entitled to some explanation, aren't we?
All right, go and tell him so. But I warn you, at your age, you're too old to be doing
Look,
beats
at
duty.
my age, I should be in bed. It's after 1 o'clock. I think we should know the reason behind all this.
The reason's perfectly plain. Colonel Farnham has influential friends in high places. Nepotism, that's the reason.
First thing I thought of. I'm not quite so sure. It was something that man Todd said. I think they're trying to protect something bigger than the family name. Not that they'll succeed.
Well, if you're thinking of doing any whispering in corners, just see it isn't traced back to the detective department.
You can rely on me. Once they get Farnham in that court, there'll be more than whisperings, I can tell you.
Well, Colonel Farnham, you are free to go now.
Free? I don't understand.
No more do I, but apparently your influential friends are convinced of your innocence. See the colonel gets his things, Sergeant?
I can't imagine why.
Come on. They're very anxious about you. Major Sprott, Mr. Todd, the Field Marshal.
Todd?
Yeah. He was here earlier. He almost tried to bribe me.
Todd?
It was white as a sheet. Are you feeling all right?
Of course, how could I have ever imagined they'd do otherwise?
Do what? What are you talking about?
Decisions that are best made in the hours of darkness. You couldn't begin to understand, Sergeant, but I know the Field Marshal. And I know Major Sprott's secret conspiracies. When I tell you this, Sergeant, you are releasing me into the grave.
Sergeant Cork gone home yet, sir?
No. But you might as well. It's been a long day for all of us, not a very profitable one either.
It's a curious thing, sir. As I came in just now, there was a handsome...
Charlie, you can't release Farnham.
Now look here, Corky, I don't propose to discuss it any further. The commissioner has given us our orders, and presumably he is acting on his. Nothing's happened to change them.
Look, he thinks he's going to be killed.
What?
He said they daren't put him on trial, they daren't let him go free. I think we ought to detain him for his own protection.
Just who are they?
The people who might find his confessions most embarrassing.
I never heard such rubbish.
You ever heard of a man volunteering to be tried for treason? Neither have I. There's a very frightened man in there. He almost dropped dead when I mentioned Todd's name.
Well, that was the man I saw in the hansom.
What hansom? What are you talking
Well,
about?
I started to tell you, sir. As I came in, there was a hansom waiting on the other side of the street. The man was watching the building. I'm sure it was Todd.
Well, there's no hansom there now.
Well, according to Farnham, this man's employed by the Secret Service for the less honorable assignments.
Well, I don't know. It must be the hour of night. Wild stories of secret assassinations. Men watching in a hansom cab that are not there. No, I don't believe there's any truth in it.
Well, if it isn't true, you must admit it's plausible.
All right, I'll make up my mind when I've talked to Colonel Farnham. He's gone.
Where to?
Where's the hunted animal run to when he thinks he's going to die? Go to the colonel's home and fetch him back, Mary, will you?
You should have left it alone, Corky. This sort of thing is outside our province.
What, preventing a murder?
An execution, an official execution. If he was tried, he'd be hung or shot. It's only a different form of execution.
Only if he's found guilty.
You know he'd be found guilty.
Even so, he'd have a chance to defend himself in the dock.
It's my job to keep the peace, protect property, uphold the law. I've got nothing to do with these madmen and their games. I've earned my position. I enjoy its privileges. I'm good at my job.
Yes, well...
I don't want it jeopardized because of a dead traitor.
You really mean that, Charlie?
It's late and I'm tired. And I don't know what I mean.
My apologies for disturbing you at this late hour, Miss Farnham. I'm from the detective department. Sergeant Cork asked, could you come immediately?
My father.
Well, it's nothing very serious. At least we don't think so. But the doctor hadn't quite finished his examination.
What happened? Tell me.
Well, how he missed the pocket knife, I don't know. But it didn't go into his wrist very deeply. All the same, I think you'd better hurry.
Yes, of course. Would you wait here until I get dressed, please?
Well, I'm afraid I can't, but I've told my cabbie to wait. He'll take it to the yard.
Oh, thank you.
Don't be too long, miss.
What is it, Captain Peters?
It's after 2 a.m., sir. Shall I have your carriage sent round?
No, I'm waiting for a communication of considerable importance.
Very good, sir.
Captain Peters, how old are you?
25, sir.
And how have you survived the day?
Well, it has been rather a long one, sir. I must confess to a slight feeling of tiredness.
Tiredness. Then pray God you never experienced the exhaustion of command or the fatigue of constant decision.
Sir?
Well, never mind, it doesn't matter.
All right, Corky, you win. When Meredith gets back, put Colonel Farnham under lock and key. Tomorrow I'll take this matter as high as I can. And God help us all. Good night.
Anne? Aren't you in bed? Anne?
She left 5 minutes ago.
What are you doing here?
Colonel, you know what I'm doing here. I imagine this is what you're looking for. Take it. Go on, take it, and shoot. Now, that wouldn't help matters, would it? Sit down. That's better. Might as well be comfortable.
I thought you'd come here to kill me.
Really? Well, we hope that won't be necessary. We hope you can be persuaded to act like an officer and a gentleman.
What do you know of officers and gentlemen?
Oh, you'd be surprised. I've had the chance of studying them in half a dozen different countries at close quarters. They don't vary very much. Of course, I don't mix with them socially. I mean, that would never do. Like hanging up a dirty dish rag alongside their scarlet and gold uniforms. They need a dirty rag to clean up the occasional mess. That way their hands don't get soiled.
I've nothing to say to you.
It's actions I'm expecting, not words.
Good God, man. Do you suppose the thought has ever been out of my mind? I've tried. Today I tried. It's no use. I couldn't.
You don't have any choice. How many generations of soldiers have there been in your family? Farnham, an old, honourable army name.
Afraid.
And if all this gets out, it'll be all for nothing. For worse than nothing. When your name's mentioned, your friends will turn away, and the others will spit.
Would if I could.
Farnham, the traitor.
A coward.
A coward wouldn't want to live through what's going to happen to you. You'll be broken from the regiment, publicly stripped of rank while the band plays the Road March and everybody looks on. And there's your daughter.
Anne?
Yes, her. Bullied and badgered while you're being tried and ostracized when it's over. And all the time, the faintest suspicion that she was involved. How do you think she'll feel when she's old and lonely and hating the father who caused it all?
Anne, she'd never have to know.
A note. Regret and farewell. The reason? Well, your money buddies will do. Write it.
I just can't seem to think clearly.
All right, forget it. Where do you keep the cleaning materials for this revolver?
First drawer down.
Now.
No. No! Please no!
Good night, Colonel. Upstairs now, down, miss. I sent a man for a doctor. He'll give you something.
On the face of it, he was cleaning the revolver when it went off.
Face it, would have ever heard of cleaning a revolver at 2 o'clock in the morning? The girl told me herself he cleaned this afternoon.
I heard the shot when I rang the doorbell. If I got here sooner, I might have saved
Can you
it.
believe it, lad? The man responsible for this is the man who got rid of her by sending her to the yard.
Todd? I have a job proving that.
Nevertheless, I intend to.
Ah, the Field Marshal was just inquiring if you'd arrived, sir.
I was delayed. Crowds are lining both sides of Whitehall.
A rehearsal for trooping the colours, sir.
Yes, of course. Is the Field Marshal alone?
There are 2 gentlemen from the detective department with him, sir, but will you go straight in?
Ah, come in, Sprott. Take a chair. Sergeant Cork, you already know. The other gentleman is Detective Marriott. They've been making inquiries about yesterday's unfortunate mishap.
Colonel Farnham. Yes, I read about it in the paper. A most unfortunate accident.
We're not convinced yet, sir, that it was an accident.
Really? You're not suggesting it was suicide?
We're suggesting it was rather fortuitous when you consider yesterday's events. I think you may safely forget them, Sergeant. Our own investigations have cleared Colonel Farnham of all suspicion, which is why we ordered his release. The Colonel is a fine man and a gallant soldier. Appropriate military tribute will be paid at his funeral. I understand he signed a statement, sir, which you have in your possession. Or have I? Oh, yes, I do remember something of the sort. My ADC clears up my desk in the morning. No doubt it'll come to light in due course. Anything else? Yes, a man posing as a policeman lured Miss Farnham away from her home. We understand this man was a man that you call Todd.
She recognized him.
How could she recognize him when she'd never met him before?
I see. Preposterous, of course. Todd was with me in my office until the early hours of this morning. We were working on a report together.
And you won't object to him attending an identity parade?
I wouldn't object in the least. Only he left for the continent this morning. As it's a professional matter, I can't possibly reveal his destination. I've no idea when he'll be back.
I think, Sergeant, you would be well advised to drop the whole matter. There's very little evidence for your suspicions, and to make them public would only cause further grief to Miss Farnham. Ah, the guards. Splendid, splendid. Come along, Marriott.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I should feel relieved. Charlie Rodway keeps his job. Miss Farnham keeps her memories.
But you don't feel relieved?
No.
Admiring the painting, Sergeant. It's excellent, don't you think?
At the moment, I'm not impressed by scenes of military glory. This business isn't finished yet, you know. Sooner or later, Todd will return.
Perhaps.
And when he does, I'll recognize him when I see him again.
Do you think that's likely?
I think it possible. I don't know where. I think it possible. Perhaps a face in a street, in a passing hansom, in the mirror of a saloon bar. I'll know him. And I'll know what to do.
I see. Should the circumstance arise, you will no doubt choose your course of action very carefully, as we shall ours. Yes, an excellent painting. We won that battle, you know.
I know. I wonder who'll win the war.